Hello, my name is Bernard, and welcome back to my audio experience. This is episode 3, and this is take 2 of episode 3, because I tried to record this last night, but when I went outside, there were cops right outside my apartment. It was really scary, and I didn't feel good about it, so I went back inside and I didn't record it. But yeah, I have a little shout out to make before the video starts. Shout out to Mr. Tom Sprout. He left some very kind words on my last episode, so if you'd like to go and check that comment out that he made, that'd be very, very nice of you guys. Yes, he left some very kind words. Thank you, Tom. And, yeah, anyways, topics for the day. I have some things on my mind right now. There were some things I was going to talk about yesterday that I decided not to talk about today. Some things that I thought about between then and now. So, I got plenty to talk about. But I'm going to start off with last weekend, because last weekend was an experience for sure. What happened was I went to my mom's house, and she was she had me like watch the house and watch some of the animals she has. So I went over there, and I knew I was going to be bored, so I decided to bring a little something that I had. My now ex-girlfriend's mom, like months ago, bought me tequila, and I was going to drink it with my girlfriend at the time, but we broke up. So I've just had that bottle of really expensive tequila from my ex's mom sitting in my apartment, and I've had nothing to do with it. I was like, I don't want to drink this. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bring it to my mom's house, and I was alone, mind you. I'm gonna bring it to my mom's house. I'm gonna drink a bunch of it. So I did. I brought it to my mom's house. I drank a bunch of it, and again, this is tequila, and I'd never had tequila before, and tequila is like something you're supposed to drink with like a bunch of friends. You're not supposed to drink that alone. So starting off the episode on a just kind of sad note, but whatever. Yeah, no, I had that, and I was probably the drunkest I'd ever been. I recorded a bunch of my like really stupid drunken observations that I'd made. I might put the audio of them in this. I might not. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm probably going to be transitioning to either SoundCloud or Spotify. That's my other announcement that I totally forgot to make because I was too distracted by the really kind and gentle words of Mr. Tom Sprout. So, anyways, also Tom Sprout apparently likes some of the same music I like, so he probably saw the cover of the video, the thumbnail, and was like, oh, look at that. That's the CBGB marquee. That's the New York Dolls logo. That's, I don't know, Alex from A Clockwork Orange. But, or maybe he was, like, amazed by the trans flag? I don't know. I don't know what it was. But he saw the thumbnail, probably, and was like, oh. Anyways, I hope he doesn't, like, look at this video. He'll be like, oh god, you're obsessed. Ew. But, no, seriously, like, YouTuber's first hate comment is kind of an accomplishment. But yeah, anyways. I see someone on a bicycle. Okay. Anyways, yeah, no, generally you're not supposed to drink that alone, so I might leave some of my drunken observations that I made in the video, like add the audio to it, but I might not, I don't know. But yes, I had fun, I guess. I mean, I was drunk, you know. Typically, you're gonna be having some fun when you're drunk, at least. But something I learned is that I learned a couple things from this experience. First of all, tequila gives you the worst hangovers. Then again, I don't drink heavily very much, and when I do drink heavily, it's usually wine or vodka, and usually it's vodka. Vodka does not give me hangovers. I've had a lot of it at one time before. I think I've had a lot of vodka at one time. Never gotten a hangover. Knock on wood. I don't have any wood. Well, shit. Anyways, yeah. So, this was the first time I'd, been as hungover as I was. And, yeah, it was that I'm gonna get to the story of that and how I dealt with that, but the other observation that I made is that Jim Morrison and the Doors in general sound really, really stupid when you're drunk, which is not what you'd expect. You would expect the Doors not to sound stupid when you're drunk. You would expect the Doors to sound profound when you're drunk, because I just know, everyone knows, Jim Morrison was completely fucked up when making those songs. It's weird, too, because from my experience, the Doors, when high on weed, sound great, not stupid at all, just oh, wow, this is profound. This is some genius, and it doesn't really feel that way as much as it just feels it's a physical experience. That's probably just because I'm a synesthete, but, yeah. I feel like it's a physical experience. When you're drunk, that is still kind of there, but it's also just more overwhelming. And, he's just kind of rambling this drunken nonsense, and you're just I don't get this. This is dumb. But yeah, strangely, the drunken ramblings of Jim Morrison don't get better when you're drunk. They get worse. But then I had some other things that I had to say about the Doors. And it's the type of people who listen to the Doors. Because I definitely... I feel like being the age I am, being, a college student, being the age I am, of course I like the Doors, I feel like that's the rule, you have to have a Doors phase in college. Everyone has had a Doors phase in college. And if you are well into your adulthood and you still like the Doors, then you probably just really miss college. I probably called a few of you out just now. But yes. But I think the reason for that is just because, there is something about, This is gonna sound really reductive and mean, and I'm gonna get flamed for this. I know it, and I'm just preemptively defending myself. But it's kind of like fake deep, you know? It really is fake deep. And, like, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just, it's a college student thing, you know? I think, you know, at that age, you're, like, starting to learn stuff about life and starting to realize that there is a world outside of your own. And I think, you know, that's the age you're kind of drawn to the mysterious aura, the counterculture vibe, you know? And that's the age that you start becoming very enamored with the idea of, I am the Lizard King, you know? You start to become very enamored with the idea of, with the mystique of the Doors. But yes, it's definitely a college student type band, and at least I'm self-aware enough to know that. Because, yeah. But I will say, you know, again, I like their music. You know, it's, you know, not, there's a person looking out of their window in their car, and that was really scary. Okay. I think that there's another car. Okay. I think that that's kind of what I have to say about that. But, oh yes, the other thing that I had to say about the Doors was that that dog scared me. Guys. Okay. Walking away faster now. That dog is so loud. Yeah, I saw this, like, list, and it was, like, you know, the top 50 best vocalists of all time. And I remember, like, or no, not vocalist, frontmen of bands, or front people of bands. And that list made me really pissed off. That's what I'll say. I remember it ranked Morrissey pretty high, and it ranked Michael Stipe pretty high. Both of those people, I don't really like them as people. And to be honest, I don't know if I really like them as frontmen either. But I remember they only ranked Jim Morrison as, like, another dog. They only ranked Jim Morrison as, like, that dog is off of a leash. Oh shit. Please don't chase me. Oh god. I don't even know what I was talking about. I literally am armed. I have a knife. I'm not afraid to use it. Please get... Okay. I don't think he's going any further. I don't know. Please leave me alone. Okay. Anyways. That was scary. Yes, they ranked Jim Morrison as, I want to say 25 on the list, which is pretty crazy, because there were a lot of frontmen that were ranked, like, much higher that I was, like, kind of confused about. But, I have more to say, actually, about the Doors now that I think about it, because people do not give... I feel like people do not give John Densmore the credit he deserves for how great of a drummer he is. Like, I don't know. Especially during, like, the end. When I think of, like, really good drumming in songs, that's what comes to mind, I think. I don't know. Drumming is, like, the one role in the band that I would not be able to take up at all. Like, I couldn't even pretend to be good at it. I have, like, this immense appreciation for drummers. If you're listening to this and you're a drummer, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing great, and I envy you. I could never. But yes, the one role in the band that I probably wouldn't be able to play. And yeah, no, drummers. But yeah, I think he's still alive. I think John Densmore is still alive. I don't know. I'll have to look it up later on, but I think he is, which is, I don't know, kind of interesting, I guess. I know their guitarist is still alive. What's his name? Robbie Krieger is still alive. But yeah, I don't know. Passing that flashing light again. But yeah, there was more that I had to say. Here's a person. They're talking. Oh, they're just on a golf cart. Okay. They just throw a cigarette off of that? What's that glowing thing? I think that's a cigarette. Okay. I just put it out just now so that they don't start a fucking fire. You guys are the reason we can't have nice things. We're in a drought right now. Okay. Well, that kind of annoyed me a little bit. But yeah, those people just threw a cigarette out of there without extinguishing it. I guess you can't really extinguish it if you throw it out like something moving fast enough, it's gonna extinguish. I guess. I don't know. Now I have the hiccups. Wonderful. I used to think that you had to run. If you were on fire, you had to run to get the fire out. I used to think that was a thing. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Stop, drop, and roll. I always have fun creating the thumbnails for these because I talk about so many things, and I can just compile all the things I talked about into some really cursed image that'll confuse people so much that they click. It's clickbait, but I don't actually, bait them that much. I kind of bait them. I'm sure that Mr. Tom thought that, I would be talking much more about A Clockwork Orange. But yes, oh my god, I got so sidetracked. The other thing that I discovered about hangovers is that the song Sister Ray by the Velvet Underground, strangely enough, makes a really good hangover cure. Now, please exercise caution if you plan on doing this yourself at home. Please exercise caution. I think the reason it worked for me is because I'm a synesthete, like I said earlier. And even then, if you're a synesthete, please exercise even more caution, actually. But, yeah, no. It's interesting because I woke up and I was like, oh, I felt really awful. I had one of the worst headaches in the world. Not the worst, but it was bad. And I felt just, super sick. I'm like, I want to just crawl back into my bed and die. And I was like, you know what? I read somewhere someone using this as a hangover cure. So I gave it a try. And surprisingly, my headache kind of went away, sort of. And then I took a shower and my headache stayed away. And then it came back. So, but then eventually that was also the day my mom was coming home. So she got to the house, and she asked me, she was like, do you want to go to the cinema with me? And so we go, and I kind of didn't want to, and we watched a 3D movie, and it was really just, it wasn't a pleasant experience, and I got sick during the movie into my popcorn bucket. So yeah, maybe don't go to the cinema with a hangover, especially if it's a 3D movie. It's a very bad idea. But I remember I drove back to my house and passed the fuck out. It was some of the best sleep I'd ever gotten. So yeah, that's my story. Kind of a cautionary tale. Kind of just a funny thing that happened. However you want to interpret it, feel free. But, yeah. Anyways, then I was going to talk more about there are people on those electric scooters. Their music sucks. Anyways, I was going to talk more about Sister Ray, though, because that's a very interesting song, and I have a very funny experience with that song. So, I think I might have mentioned it briefly in a separate episode, but I remember at one point, I think I was 18 at the time. I was a bit younger, and I was like, you know what? I need to I need to listen to that song. I'd heard enough about it, and I'd already listened to the self-titled, the Velvet Underground and Nico, and then the other self-titled album from 1969. And I'd listened to both of those, and I liked them. I was like, okay, I have to listen to White Light, White Heat. I have to. I'm legally required, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot until it got to Sister Ray, and I was like, okay, this song is 17 minutes long. Did I mention I was really high? I was very stoned when this was happening. I was like, okay, this has been really enjoyable. This is a 17-minute long song, but I can do it. I can make it through. It can't be that bad. All I know about it is that it's 17 minutes and that it defined noise rock. And, I like noisy music. I really do. I love noisy music. After all, my favorite band probably... When I tell people what my favorite band is, I usually say the Jesus and Mary Chain. So I like noisy music. So I'm expecting something noisy, but not something like that. So, and I like industrial as well. I like noise. But I turned the song on, and I'm enjoying the opening. I'm like, this is nice. And then all of a sudden, I just feel this intense wave of paranoia, and I'm like, oh god, what's going on? I'm freaking out. And it gets to the point in the song where it's it's just John Cale basically slamming on the electronic organ, and Lou Reed just in the background going too busy sucking on my ding dong, and it's and I'm like, this is awful, this is terrible. And I was really getting stressed out. I didn't want to hear any more about this guy's ding dong. I really didn't. And I was not having it. I was just getting really stressed out. I was not having a good time. And and I'm like, this is terrible. This is horrible. And I'm like, I gotta power through. I gotta listen to the rest of it. And I was not having it. It was stressful. It was physically painful for me. And I was just freaking out, And eventually, after a while, the song ends. I'm freaked out because I'm high, it's not fun, is what I'm trying to say. I wasn't having a good time. But yeah, I listened to the song, and I genuinely did not listen to that band for weeks. And I was not happy about it, because all the other songs on that album were really good, and that one song just ruined the whole experience for me. But I have this policy that I cannot call a song bad until I've listened to it twice. Then I'm allowed to call it bad. Then I'm allowed to not like it if I don't like it the second time around. Especially considering I was, not sober at the time. I had to listen to it again. And I did. A while later, like a year later, I listened to it again, and I was like, I kind of like this. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just got Stockholm Syndrome. Maybe I, am under the spell of, Mr. Reed. I don't know. But yes, no, it seriously felt like the entirety of the Velvet Underground was like my sleep paralysis demon or something. It was nightmare fuel. It really was. But yes, it's weird. It worms into your brain, I think. I don't know. I really like saying that things worm into your brain. Like, that's just a fun phrase. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it does. That's a real thing. And that's why I kind of like to give things second chances, because it's like, I'm gonna like it the second time around. I have a great story about that. There was this song, and I might have told this story on here before, but there was this song called Warm Leatherette. And I listened to that when I was 5 on accident. Me and my dad were picking up a family member from the airport, and we were circling in that area where the people wait for their ride to get there. We were circling that area. My dad was very stressed out, and he wasn't changing the radio. And on the radio, the song Warm Leatherette by Mr. Daniel Miller starts to play, and it was scary. It was weird, and I hated it, and I was not enjoying it. The song Dad, I'm in Jail also played that day, but Warm Leatherette was the one I remembered. Warm Leatherette, weird as fuck. Years later, I remembered it existed all of a sudden. I just remembered. And I think at that time I was maybe 11. So it would have been like 5 or 6 years later. I don't know. I was older, and I remembered that song existed. And I, looked it up. And I kind of became obsessed with it. I couldn't understand it the first time around. And then I was like, okay. And I listened to it again and again and again. And soon enough, it became my favorite song. And it set off a really weird chain of events that I think I wouldn't be the person I am now had I not discovered. I say that in the way Christopher Columbus discovered America. I discovered Warm Leatherette. A free chair, just sitting on the side of the road. Kind of want to sit in it. Not gonna, though. That might be gross. I think discovering, in quotes, that song might have actually, been a butterfly effect type of moment. Because that's what led to my entire taste in literature and eventually my entire taste in music. So, yeah, that's the Warm Leatherette story, the abridged version anyways. There's definitely more to it, but Yeah, no. Very interesting how that works. How songs worm into your brain like that. But yeah, anyways. Oh yeah. I just remembered the other thing that I was going to say about the Doors. I was like starting to say it and then I just got sidetracked. I had this uncle or cousin, I don't know, something. He was related to me. I had a relative who I don't know what it was. I think we were going to like a funeral or something. I don't know. We were going to some family event for some family member I'd never heard of. I think it was a memorial service, actually. Yeah, some family member I'd never heard of, but, you know, my dad really cared about this person, so he brought us with, and, you know, we wanted to take a little, like, vacation anyways, so we went there, and I met my uncle or cousin or whatever he is, and this guy's a very weird guy. He's a bee farmer. Like, that's his job, is bee farming, and he's a vegan. I don't know, those are like the two things I know about him, is that he's a bee farmer and a vegan. The third thing I know about him, though, is that he had a pet iguana, and the iguana had the stupidest name in the world. It was, I feel like it's a good name for an iguana, though, you gotta admit. He named it Mr. Mojo Rising, like, you know, like LA Woman. It's a great name for an iguana now that I think about it. It's stupid, but, like, you know, if you haven't had any better days since freshman year of college and you adopt an iguana, why not, you know, why not make it a tribute to your favorite thing in the best days of your life, the Doors. But yeah, no, he was an interesting guy. Oh, he lived in a tiny home. That was the other thing about him. He lived in a tiny home. I don't know. He was a bee farmer. He lived in a tiny home, and he liked the Doors, and he was a vegan. I don't know. That's all I remember about the guy. If he ever finds this video, I don't know. Say something. But yeah, I don't know. Those are some interesting things. The other thing that I was going to talk about too was, I was thinking about like getting a haircut, because my mom told me that I probably needed a haircut. Which, I really don't want to get a haircut. Like, I really don't want to get a haircut. I don't know. Like, the thing is that I hate haircuts. It's a sensory thing for me. Like, it's just genuinely, like, an issue that I have. I hate getting haircuts. And, the thing is that my mom is really a huge critic of my hair. She will, like, she'll tell me it's too long, she'll tell me it's too short, whatever. And, she complains that I don't like to style it. But, like, I genuinely think long hair would look good on me. The thing is that at the same time, long hair is also kind of annoying. I don't know. I don't know what I should do with my hair, but whatever it is, I don't want my mom's opinion on it. No offense, Mom, but also, I don't want your opinion on my hair. But it's ironic because one of my mom's favorite musicals is the musical Hair. That's ironic to me. I don't know. Like, that's a painful irony right there. But yes, that's a musical she likes. You know. I'm running across the street because there's a car. I made it. That music in that car is ass. Turn off your awful music right now. Or they'll just go away where I can't hear it. That also works. But, yeah. My mom likes the musical Hair, which is a weird musical, by the way. Like, the movie of it is terrible. Also, the movie of it is PG. Did you guys know this? The movie of the musical Hair is PG. What? Like, isn't that the musical that just, like, has a whole song that's just a bunch of racial slurs for black people? Like, isn't that, like, one of the songs in there? Isn't one of the songs just a list of, like, sexual acts? Aren't all the songs in that play just lists of things? Yeah, no. It's weird. Why is that PG? There's a scene where there's literally, like, the obligatory, necessary, completely important to put into the movie, acid trip scene. I feel like every movie set in the 60s has to have an acid trip scene, and they're always the exact same every single time. Like, just like the shot, the POV shot of someone's hands, and there's, like, rainbows coming off of it, you know? I don't know. They always have the acid trip scene that's necessary for any movie set in the 1960s. Otherwise your movie was not set in the 1960s. I had an idea for a movie, actually, that I want to get made. I feel like A24 could do it. I'm gonna pitch my idea to A24. Or I heard someone call it A24 the other day, and I think that might... I don't know. Is it pronounced A24 or A24? I don't know, whatever. But, yeah, I had an idea for a movie, and it would be, like, kind of set in the 60s, and it would have the acid trip scene, because it needs the acid trip scene. All movies set in the 60s need that. Yeah, I had a friend who was like, before watching the last episode, was like, do you talk about acid in there? And I said yes. And they were like, oh, how did I guess? And how they knew is because I was obsessed with the MK Ultra experiments when I was a kid. Oh yeah, that was the other crazy thing about that person. That was the other thing I remember about that guy. About the guy with the iguana and the bee farm. I one time asked him if he'd went to the redwood forest, and he just told me, oh yeah, I went there, and I took some drugs, and the trees looked crazy. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. And I don't know what he took, but it was probably acid, because he lived in San Francisco, or near San Francisco. I don't know, that's the vibe of San Francisco, you know? Going up to the redwoods and dropping acid, I guess. But, yeah. What was I saying? Hair, yes. Like, I don't know. It's weird. And I recently decided to watch a quote-unquote slime tutorial of the musical Hair. I always thought that was funny how musical theater people called bootlegs slime tutorials. I think that's really funny. Because, there's no way that you posted a, 2-hour-long slime tutorial and the thumbnail is, a zoomed-in picture of one of the actors. But, I watched slime tutorial for I think it was the Broadway revival in 2010. I don't know. Whenever they did that revival of Hair. But I really enjoyed it. It was good. It's a good musical. It's really weird. And the movie cuts out 10 songs. Which is completely unnecessary. They could have kept them in, but I think they wanted to keep the PG rating. But the song they took out was I think they took out the song Air, which is perfectly fine and not inappropriate at all. I guess except for the references to nuclear war. But this is set during Vietnam. The main character kid dies in the end. Spoiler alert, I guess, for a musical that's been out for almost 60 years. But this isn't kid friendly. That's not kid friendly. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know. I think it's weird how they made that PG. But I can't complain because also I don't know, they could have made it rated R very easily. And my thinking is they were well, it's a musical. We can't make a musical rated R. Because I remember around the same time, the musical Grease came out, and that was Grease was super, super toned down for the movie version, and even then, didn't feel very kid-friendly, but it's set in a high school, the main characters are all kids, and so it's well, okay, we have to make this PG. And then the other really atrocious one is Cabaret. Why is that rated PG? Please tell me why it's rated PG. Please, explain to me. But, also, I'm gonna get hate for this, too. I'm just spewing hot takes today. My take is that I don't think Liza Minnelli is that great of an actress. Okay, hear me out. She's a really good singer, amazing singer. Really good, amazing dancer. Not the strongest in the acting department, I feel. Not bad. Of course she can act about as well as anyone can act. But I don't think she's an actress, I don't know. Hot take. I know. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I pissed anyone off. But, how was Cabaret PG, is my question. How on earth did they get away with that? How did they get away with Hair? I think that it said the F word in there somewhere. I feel like I think it said the F word in there somewhere. I don't know. But there's not very many PG movies with the F word in it. I think that was one of them. I don't know how they got away with it. And there was full frontal nudity as well for both dudes and girls, that person's driving really slow. That's scaring me. Anyways, there's full frontal nudity as well. And again, the whole backdrop of it being set during the Vietnam War is extremely dark and definitely not appropriate for kids. How on earth Like, if they made Hair now, it wouldn't even be rated PG-13. It would just straight up be rated R. And if PG-13 existed back then, like, I still wouldn't have rated it PG-13. That should have been R. I don't know. And, like, maybe their logic was all the characters are kids, but, like, all the characters are kids, yeah, but they're, like, 16 through, like, 20, you know? Like, that's a perfect age to be in a rated R movie, because that's the age that you can start watching those. I don't know. I'm crashing out over this, even though I don't care that much. I just think it's dumb how there's like a standard for musicals that like other movies aren't held to, but then that also ruins the musicals, because then they have to censor a lot of those musicals and they become kind of sanitized, and it sucks. And yeah, I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I think when the F word is used, I think they use the F word in there. I swear they do. It's used as a verb, I feel like. I don't know. There's no way. That's crazy and insane. And I'm not getting over this. I need to calm down. Oh yeah. I did want to talk about synesthesia, didn't I? Yeah, so I have that. It's auditory tactile. And it's really interesting because it means that, like, a lot of the music I listen to, I'm very particular about, just because some music can be very overwhelming or physically painful for me. It is loud on this road tonight. It is very loud. Anyways, yeah, I can be very particular about my music sometimes. And for some reason, weed makes it even more intense, but it makes my brain calmer at the same time. So it's a much more pleasant feeling. And if I'm super high, then I also get chromesthesia as well, which I have sometimes when I'm sober, but it's rare and it's not very vivid. But if I get high, and I listen to something, then it's like vivid, bright colors in my mind's eye, and it's really crazy, and it's really cool, and I love it. But that's why I'm also particular about what strains I use, or pretty particular. I don't like sativa, because it doesn't do that thing where it calms your mind. Your mind kind of stays at the level that it was at. And it maybe gets a little calmed, but not really. And so you still get the intense synesthesia effect that happens, and it gets intensified. But your mind is also still going pretty fast. So it's not fun. Synesthetes, beware of what weed you have. I don't know. But yeah, like, it really has that, like, it causes that really scary feeling when I've had certain strains where my synesthesia becomes like 1,000,000,000 times more intense, but my brain doesn't calm down at all. But with the other kinds that I've had, like indica, hybrids, anything like that, in those cases, it's always been very, like, nice, and it's, like, mellowed out my brain, but the synesthesia part's been intensified, and so I can physically, like, feel and see all of the music that I'm listening to, and it's really groovy. and really nice. But yeah, like, I really do feel like some of the best songs from my perspective, especially with tactile synesthesia, is I really enjoy the Jesus and Mary chain. I've mentioned that. I enjoy anything like noisy but not heavy. I don't like heavy music very much. I think heavy music is very overwhelming for me often, especially like metal is very overwhelming for me sometimes. And I don't feel that way about music that's light but noisy, which sounds weird. Sounds like, you would think, oh, that's not a thing. It's a thing. Like I said, the Jesus and Mary chain, very good example of that. Like, just this light, airy music. Feels kind of like a weird mix of the Velvet Underground and The Cure. And that's great. That's perfect for that. It's like, I don't know. It's great, though, like, for synesthetes. Because for me, it physically feels like, oh, a cat. Oh, it's a little baby. Oh, it's a black cat. Oh, come back. Okay, I'll leave it alone. But for me, it physically feels like, like heavy music feels kind of, it does, another cat feels physically heavy for me. Like a lot of pressure, and it's uncomfortable, but, light music feels like a weird prickly wave that goes over you. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's a weird prickly wave of music. And especially the Jesus and Mary chain, really good with that. Really good for that. It feels like, yeah, a prickly wave going over you. And it's kind of like the bed of nails effect, sort of, where physically you don't really feel pain, but it's prickly. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to explain. But if you get it, you get it. If you don't, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But there's some other music that I have physical feelings tied to. But that's the kind that I really enjoy. Yeah. I love getting asked about it, though, so, yeah. Definitely ask me about it in the comments. And there are people, there are people, yeah, definitely ask me about it in the comments, if you want to. I don't know. And I made it back to my apartment, so I'm signing off for now. But yes, adios. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Editor Bernard here. I wanted to share the drunken audios, a couple of them, just because I thought they might be funny to add in, so here they are. What the fuck is the deal with jazz, bro? Do people, like, listen to jazz? Like, it's paradoxical, because, like, the people who did jazz, they, like, were improvising, but now it's, like, all music theory shit. Fuck jazz. Okay, I don't know why, but it brought me so much joy to see my mom liking a post about a dentist going to Electric Daisy Carnival and handing out, like, candy bracelets that had, like, floss on them. I didn't even get along well with her, but I don't know what it is. Like, everyone in my family is fucking neurodivergent. What the fuck? Alright, that's enough of that, and I said a very spicy take in there, so hopefully I don't piss anyone off. Alright, bye!